Beam Nation, we have no time to waste today. No time! We're going to turn a very bad resume and update it into a very good resume in only 8 minutes. Let's get to it. Okay, first things first, we're going to head over to BeamJobs.com. Create my resume. Now you have a bunch of templates you can choose from. I am preferential to the elegant template, so I'm going to go with that one. And now, because we're updating an old resume, I am going to upload my old resume. So my first job out of college was at a company called Geico. This is my resume from right after Geico. And we want to add the role I had after Geico was at a company called Chegg. So we're going to take this resume as our baseline, and in 8 minutes, we're going to update it with my experience at Chegg. So just at a high level, first impressions, oh mama's there a lot of text. So what I like to do when I'm updating a resume, before I even get into editing the old content and cleaning it up and making it look nice, I want to add my new role first, right? So that's for me always the hardest part, is adding the new role, adding the work experience bullet points. So that's where we're going to start. So let's add a role. Scroll down to see that role. This is the new role. So my role was as a data analyst at Chegg. I started this in around August 2016. I ended it in April 2018. I lived in New York at the time. Now, again, the hardest part for me is always the work experience bullet points. So to simplify, we make it super easy. So I'm going to choose data analyst since that was my role. Now, for me to start, I just want to choose things that are kind of relevant, and then I'll customize it to what I actually did at the job. So I'm going to go through some of these and add between 4 and 6, maybe 7 bullet points, and then I'll go back and edit the content to make it relevant to what I did. So that's roughly what I did. And we'll talk about what makes a good bullet point next, but the key is that you focus on what you did and the tangible numeric impact of the outcome of what you did. So let's keep adding. Again, I'm just looking through some of these and finding out what's kind of relevant, roughly what I did, and then we're going to go back and edit the content to really make it relevant to what we did. Okay, so now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's go through each one, and again, we're just going to make it relevant to the work I actually did. So design and implement A/B experiments, I actually built A/B experiments to improve customer conversion rate by, I didn't have quite a 19 basis point impact, but I had about a 6 basis point impact. It did not have a churn impact, however, so I'll get rid of that. Built operational and defined areas of improvement for contractors. I didn't really work with contractors, but I did find areas of improvement for marketing processes, resulting in, didn't quite have a $250,000 impact, but it was roughly $100,000. Now the key here is estimates are more than okay. You just really want to showcase that you focused on impact in your old roles. So partner directly with the executive team. I was not the first data hire to formulate and report on KPIs across web properties that received, we only got about 45 million visitors annually, using SQL and Google Sheets. Remember the formula here. It is what you did, the tools you used, if you used any, and the outcome that you had. So I built a address regression model to help the SEO team. I actually helped the paid ads team decide which keywords to target, resulting in actually had a bigger impact. So about a 20% lift. Again, it is more than okay if these are estimates. So collaborated with product managers for cohort analysis, reduce pricing. And that was not super relevant to me. But what I did do is I automated reporting for quarterly earnings announcements, saving over, it's about 50 hours of manual effort each quarter. Okay, so now we're in a pretty good spot. We have all of the content that we might need for our resume. Now it's all about stylizing and formatting. So first things first, we are going to get rid of our career objective. That's most relevant for people who are undergoing a career change or if you're entry level. Don't want to add any projects since we have plenty of relevant work experience. We can keep it there. Now let's just check some of our old ones. So this one doesn't have a company attached, so let's just add the company name. And this one says current, but of course, because we're updating our resume, that is no longer our current role. So we joined here in August 2016. So that was in July. Ooh. July of 2016. And now we want to make sure that our roles are ordered. So our most recent role is at the top of our resume. So we're just going to move this one up. Let's move it up one more time. Click out of there. And then, okay, that looks good. So our most recent role is at the top, second most recent role, and our oldest role. Now let's clean up the title. I want to make this more generalizable. Data analyst. And the rest of that looks good. I now live in New York. Ooh. Let's clean up the skills. For the skills section, just include the skills that you're comfortable being interviewed on, and it's really important that you don't have a laundry list of skills. It's much better to be an expert of a few skills than sort of a jack of all trades. So try to keep your skills section to no more than 4 to 6 skills, 7 skills if you're feeling saucy. For Excel, I like to add a little bit of context about the kind of things I did in Excel, since the range of skills and qualifications in Excel can vary so widely. So last thing, we want to really make sure our resume is one page. So let's go through a lot of our old jobs, our old bullet points, and just clean up some of that content. So let's just delete content without numbers. Remember, we really want to focus on impact on our resume. And then let's also focus on some of the ones that have the most text. Clean up that one. Ooh, mama, that's a paragraph. Get rid of this. And you want your most recent roles to take up more real estate on your resume. The text is a little small here, so let's just clean that up. Ooh, beautiful. We're right at one page. And now last things last, if you want to feel a little extra, you can add some styling to call out some of your biggest accomplishments. I like to use bold. You don't have to do this for everyone. Just focus on some of the ones that you're proudest of. Reduce losses by 2% annually. What would impress? Remember, someone's only scanning your resume. They're not reading it end to end initially. So make sure you're drawing their attention to where you want to draw their attention. And you can do that with bold, underline, italics, whatever styling you want. Alrighty. And look at that, with 8 minutes, we did it. We turned our old bad resume, updated it with a new role into a very good resume. And if we had a little extra time, we wanted to go past the 8 minutes, we could just go through our resume score. 94 is great, but you could really easily get that up to 100 just by following the recommendations here. Wait, mission accomplished, B team. I'm gonna call my mom, tell her what I just did. She's gonna be so proud. There you have it. You can successfully update your resume in only 8 minutes. It doesn't need to be a massive chore. In the next video, we'll also walk through how to build a resume from scratch if you don't have that experience. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride.